society were slaves for the Babylonians. They were working outside Babylonian in a river with the name of
My
Chebar.
client dumped my purse in the toilet
You dropped your purse in the toilet.
today. Dumped everything. My keys, did it on purpose.
Mm.
So that's
And we're
why
working.
I'm in a
All
funky
of a
ass
sudden,
mood
they
because
hear a
it's
noise.
been one thing after another. But
Look up there.
my schedule
We
as of next
realized
week,
that
because I said I'm
something
gonna
is
start picking
flying
up more
down
hours, I'll be
from
staying
the
at work
sky
until
to the earth.
4:30 on Friday.
Ezekiel, as a priest, he believes, of course, that God
I'm
is
thinking about
showing
grabbing
up
something else tonight
himself.
because I really just don't feel
He
like it.
falls down
Me,
on
Jen,
his knees.
and
He
Carol
wants to
were all like,
praise.
"What are you having for dinner?" And well,
Wait,
Jen started.
the
She's like, "What are you guys having for dinner?" Because I have no
text.
clue what I want to eat, and I don't want pizza. And
The
Cyrus
word
was like, "Well,
God
I eat pizza every Friday. That's kind of like our thing."
speaks
Me
I
and
mean, I
Carol.
could go for pizza, but I was also thinking about seafood.
highest.
And that's what I said. I said, I don't know, but we've had seafood for a couple of nights. We had fish, and then we had patties,
Ezekiel
and then we
sees
had
something
shrimp.
like
We
a
normally do
glittering,
salmon on Fridays. Like that's
game.
normally what I do on Friday.
and
I
in
haven't
there
put it on a
something
grill in
like a
about a month
throne.
because it's been cold as shit.
And on this throne,
Yeah.
something like a
Yeah,
man
salmon is normally our
in
Friday
glittering
dish.
clothes were
But
sitting.
yeah, we did just have shrimp and chicken.
Here calls the whole thing here, whole object,
I
You got
bet
your
the
phone on you?
splendorness
Yeah.
of the
No, just
highest.
take a picture. You
Not the
sit right
splendorness
here.
of God. Das ist geopolitisch bleiben. Splendorness of the highest. These are beings, and all these beings had four wings. Its wings made a terrible noise. The noise of the thundering of a waterfall, or the noise of some battle wagons.
You know,
Then, as next he sees four wheels, and he cannot understand these wheels because wheels on his time go forward and backward. The wheels you see here on the splendorness of the highest, they go forward, backward, but right and left at the same time, without making a steering movement. Go in all
maybe
four
one
directions
different. I
without
like
the
this
moving.
one.
His wheels, he sees some legs, and he
That
clearly
way you can see
right.
like
The legs were
phone,
glittering
laptop,
like
computer,
metal,
something like that.
etc., etc. We looked at Ezekiel's speech here.
Some of these first couple ones.
5 years ago,
Which one?
the secret speech, NASA in Huntsville, American Space Administration. Secret because both parties agreed we do not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for whatever. Like I said seafood because I passed Red Lobster today, and I was like, and then I be thinking about the prices.
NASA
And I always think like we could just do it ourselves. But I like I said, I
One
really
of
just
them
don't
was
want to
an
cook tonight.
ex-German man. His name is Joseph Brumlik. After my speech, we had
All
dinner.
right, I'm good.
And Mr.
Whatever
Brumlik
you
came to
want.
me and said, Eric, that was quite interesting when he was talking about Ezekiel.
I don't know.
But
I
in the
didn't really do my
Bible,
oil change
we
yet.
never
I'm just gonna do it in the morning because it's raining.
The
It's
Bible
sunny
is our
outside.
wishes,
I'm
dreams,
chilling. My day is
just
right.
imaginations, but definitely no
I'm
technology.
gonna try to get something
He
around
also said,
5:30,
I was the
but I'm
first
not rushing
who
you, so if
introduced
you're
me.
not ready, I guess we'll just.
Ezekiel, he never read Ezekiel
All
before.
right, yo, was good. Man.
The next week,
Text messages.
Yeah.
Yo.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, what's up, man? Oh, I'm in the studio painting. I'm doing a live stream on YouTube right now.
Okay.
Yeah. You made it to the house yet, or you still at school, or what?
I'm here all day.
Oh, you ain't go to school today?
But, I wasn't feeling that good today, but other than that, I'm alright. But how's your?
Yeah, it's pretty normal. I had one client who was supposed to come in at 12:30. Now I get off work at 2:30. And this guy was supposed to be there at 12:30. And then he calls at like 1 o'clock. Like, no, exactly. Yeah, it's like 1 o'clock, almost like 10 minutes after one. He calls, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed my appointment earlier. I overslept. can I come down now? And my first thought was like, your appointment was at 12:30. Who sleeps until 12:30? Like that's late in the day. How you oversleep at 12:30? But anyway, I told her, I said, man, we close our office at 2:30. If you can get down here ASAP, I'll see you today. And so he's like, oh, I'm on my way now. And he didn't get there until like right at 2 o'clock. And so I'm in there just trying to rush and help him fill out this paperwork and get this stuff together. But I don't know, that's one of my pet peeves is like being on time and being punctual. And I'm supposed to help you get a job. And so like if you can't even come see me on time, how can somebody trust you to make it to an interview on time or to make it to work on time every day? But that was probably like the worst part of my day is just dealing with somebody who missed their appointment and then wanted to like come in whenever they felt like coming in. Other than that, like my day was mostly easy. I just did a bunch of like paperwork and stuff today. And then what'd you do all day? Sit around and play some video games?
Yeah. Just up early.
Oh damn.
Because it wasn't something. But I'm feeling something right now. But, you know, you said you just in the studio right now?
You said what?
I said you just in the studio right now?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to get these paintings done from this guy as fast as I can so he can hurry up and pay me. Like I said, I've been spent too much money in the past couple of weeks. I gotta hurry up and make some money back now. I wish I had some more jobs I can do.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Like I ain't even been going to the gym this week. I've been getting up in the morning at my normal time, but instead of going to the gym, I just come in the studio and just work on this painting for a little while before I go to work every day, and then come home and come right in the studio and try to work on it some more. Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to get it done this weekend. Like if I can get to a certain spot this evening, I'm almost certain that I can finish this painting tomorrow, and then I can start back working on my own stuff because, like I said, I got another show coming up next month, and they're already asking for the art to be there. They emailed me like 2 days ago and was like, "Yo, you can bring the art over," and I'm like, "Okay, but everything that I want in the show isn't ready yet." And so now I'm in this mad scramble trying to get everything done. I hate feeling like this, like I'm on a deadline or feeling like I gotta rush. And I can't really paint no faster than what I do. So now I just have to sacrifice other things. Like I have to sacrifice my gym time and I have to sacrifice my video game time so I can work on this stuff now. Right?
Yeah.
I said, hopefully I can get finished with it tomorrow, and then I can go back to my own schedule and working on my own stuff, and hopefully get like at least a little bit of video game time in this weekend, and maybe read a book or do something else. And then I can start going back to the gym too.
What are you painting right now?
It's a picture of this guy, and he's holding his little baby up to the sky. But I don't know, people like when people take pictures, that's all cool and everything. But then when people bring a picture to me and say, "Hey, I want you to paint this," they don't really look at like what all goes into a painting. Because in this one piece, this dude has on a camouflage shirt, and it's like, do you know how hard it is to paint this camouflage shirt? Like, You couldn't have like on an all white shirt or a solid blue shirt or something. No, you had to have on a camouflage shirt. And so now it's harder for me to get it to look right, which means I have to charge him more money because it's a more complex like detail that I have to add to the print.
And that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah, trying to paint this camouflage shirt. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever. Well, no, I've painted camouflage before, but it wasn't like this much. No,
You said no?
no, I'm good.
Come over.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. At this point, I'm just like very. At this point, I just been frustrated like recently. I keep saying like I can't get a hold of my.
Hmm. Yeah, it's tough when I don't know, like your eyes are just open to the world now, and it's easy for you to comprehend and understand things. You know, and then your mom is in this position where she thinks you're still a child, like you don't know nothing, and you're not going to figure things out on your own, and you're not going to ask tough questions. And I think she just always wanted it to be like that. Oh, my kids will always, believe what I say, and all I have to do is tell them this, and they'll never question me. And and now it's tough being a parent when your kids ask tough questions. And I don't think she has a lot of answers for your questions, and she doesn't know how to deal with it. So she just shuts down and shuts you out. And I don't know, like if that's her only way to deal with this situation, and she needs a lot of help herself because this isn't working. And she should know that it's not working, and she should know that it's not fair to you. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your sisters. It's not fair to your brother. And it's like now she's not just shutting you out and like not having a communication between you and her. Now she's stopping you from having a communication with other people. And once again, this is a thing that she does. She uses people as power tools or like pawns. And that's what she did for me for so long. She just kept you away from me, and she knew she had the power to do that, and so that's like a weapon for her. So she wants to punish me, and so the only way she can figure out to punish me is to keep me away from certain people. And now she's kind of like doing the same thing as like, oh, you know, she thinks you're this type of person, and that's why she put you out, and now you're doing things that she doesn't like, or not doing things, but asking questions and starting conversations that she's uncomfortable with and she doesn't like it. And so in order to punish you for doing that, she's she's keeping people away from you or keeping your access to people like limited. And that's the only thing she can do because she has no other power and no other control. So she just uses that as a weapon. And but she doesn't realize that that's not going to make you do what she wants you to do. You're not going to like, oh well, I believe in Jehovah and I'm gonna be religious and like that's not what's gonna happen. So I don't understand like why she continues to go along this path when clearly she's not getting the results that she expected because it doesn't work. You just can't keep people away from each other because like that's just like I don't know. Me and my friends kind of went through something like that once before where there's three of us who were friends and then you know the two other guys had a falling out, and then one of them was like, "Oh well, you shouldn't mess with him no more because I don't like him no more." And I'm like, "Well, he didn't do anything to me." And so you two relationship has nothing to do with me. If you guys don't want to be friends, that's fine. But I'm gonna still be your friend, and I'm gonna still be his friend, and that's just how it is. And so once again, like just because she's upset with you, that doesn't give her the right to like deny you access to talk to your brother if she's upset. And so just and that's the thing that gets me the most right now is like why would she even tell him not to call you or not answer your phone calls or and this is just going on for too long now. Well, once again, there's um, the same way she can't force you to do a lot of things. It's the same way you can't force her to do a lot of things. Um, the older we get, you learn to understand people are who they are. They're going to be who they are, and that's it. You can't really change people, you know. And so if this is the person she want to be, and she wants to act this way towards you. I mean, I don't think there's anything no one can do about it. So I mean, that's her decision, a very poor decision in my opinion. As a parent, as a person, as a friend, like it's just a poor decision. And I personally think she's handling things inappropriately. But at the same time, there's nothing we can do about it. Like we can think whatever we want to think about it and have our own opinions about it, but we say we can't force her to do anything she doesn't want to do. So she doesn't want to answer phone calls. She doesn't want to visit. She doesn't want to have you over. Yeah, okay, well, those are your decisions. But then if you buy a lottery ticket and you hit Mega Millions and you win like $60 million, it'll be your decision not to share it with her or any good thing that happens to you, and, you know, and then people don't think about that. But if something good happens, I bet she'll want to be a part of that. Though. All right, yeah, it's Friday. I seen I missed your call last night. I was already in bed yesterday. Everybody makes so much fun of me. Like, dude, you going to bed? Like on New Year's Eve, the guy I watch on YouTube a lot, my homie Blunt Mover, he was in a stream, and so I just jumped in his stream and I sent a message. I was like, "Yo, what's up?" He was like, "Oh man, it's New Year's Eve." He's like, "Come in the live stream with me so we can bust it up for a minute." And I'm like, dude, I'm already in bed. He was like, bro, it's 8:30. I'm like, I know, man. I'm tired though. But it's all good though. All right, so I'll let you go and I'll talk to you later on. All right, bye. Yeah, my son trip. I don't know, man. Yo, what's good? Uh, Yo, drop a message in the stream. Who is in here of viewing? This is a Prince. You know what I'm saying? While I work on this stupendous, magnificus, incredulous, incredul. In, I'm trying to just blend words together. I was trying to say spectacular and incredible. How can you mix? How can you blend the two words spectacular and incredible? And I don't know. Fuck it. It doesn't make any sense. Bro, do I have to get a smaller brush than this? I might need the fine tip for the. God dang, I'm on a little teeny part. I gotta pull this thing up to my face a little bit. Let me drop it down one notch. All right, drop it down one and pull this thing up close so I can shimmy my details. Okay, so what I want to do next is, all right, get some solid white. I got the littler brush now. I had the little brush to start with, but now I got the littler. Thin this paint down. I'm trying to get it like a real thin, like inky consistency. I want it to flow like ink. When you get down to these little fine details, you don't need really thick paint. You need really thin, smooth, flowing paint. Yep, just like that. Yep, that's exactly what I expected. Let me continue on. Now I'm gonna try to come down and hit this little corner right here at an angle. Oh, it stops abruptly. And then now I'm gonna have to come back with some darker colors to add some contrast in here. I don't think that underpainting was dark enough. All right. Well, let me continue on with the lighter color for a minute, and then I'll add some contrast. I really should pull out my maul stick so I'm not leaning on this canvas as hard as I am right now, which is probably what I'm gonna do. Let me grab my maul stick. Now, all right, that's that's a little better. Not putting so much pressure on the canvas. Okay. Let's see now. What we do a little bit of this, some brown. I still might have to offset that with a little lighter color. And we're gonna he's wearing a gold watch or a rose, it might be rose gold. So I'm trying to get it to look golden. Make it look a little golden. You know what I mean? You don't want to drop no like and no comment. It's all good. It's all good. You ain't gotta let me know who you is. As long as you enjoying the stream. You feel me? What my man Dre OG said, as long as you rocking with the content and the vibes. Ain't that what the new girls say? I'm a vibe. Bitch, is you really though? Is you really? Do you know what the fuck a vibe is? You're not it. You're not a vibe, bitch. Okay. Kind of liking that. I think I like what I'm doing right there. Gonna switch back over to some lighter colors. Let's see here. Working on these links on his watch. I have a very skinny wrist. So when I buy a nice watch that has like links, like a nice steel watch, I always have to get links taken out so that it'll fit my wrist. Because it got bony wrists, man. And I hate having a watch and it just flaps all around on your wrist, like you raise your hand and then your watch slides all the way down here. Like, man, your watch is supposed to stay on your wrist. But if your bone's too skinny, then it'll slide all the way down your goddamn forearm. And that's not flattering at all, man, you know? So I'd be like, excuse me, Mr. Watchmaker, would you mind making my band a little skinnier so my watch don't slide up to my goddamn elbow? Thank you kindly. I don't like elbow watches. I like wrist watches. That's why it's called a wristwatch. Not a pocket watch and not a stopwatch and definitely not an elbow watch. It's called a wristwatch for a reason because it's meant to be worn on the wrist. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. I'm definitely doing something right now. Man, look. People like teach me how to paint. Like I'll try. Cause half the time I don't know what I be doing, man. That shit just be happening. You know? I just pick up the brush and then sometimes I feel like that shit just paint it damn self. Word. It's like a outer body experience. Like I know I'm doing it, but I don't know how. I don't know exactly how I'm doing it. The shit just kind of comes together somehow. And then in the end, it just be looking like that, you know? Well, how do you do it, Mr. Prince? Well, I put paint on the canvas, man. I put paint on my brush. Then I touch the brush to the canvas. And then magically, goddamn person pops up that bitch. I don't know how that shit works. I just know that it does. I just know that it does. I just know that it does. You on the sideline wanting to judge. I just know that it does. I just know that it does. I just know that it does. You on the sideline trying to judge. Somebody write that bar down real quick, man. That might be the beginning to a nice hook, son. I think there's something there, you know. You might have something. Let's play around with that. I'm sitting on the sideline with the judge. I just know that it does. I just know that it does. I just know that it does. You sit on the sideline with the judge. I just know that it does. All right, I'm kind of losing it a little bit. I think I need to change my colors. Jay Boozy, what's good, bro? What's good, my G? Happy motherfucking New Year. Motherfucking 23. Bruh, we made it. We made it one more again. One more again, bro. We made it. You know what I'm saying? See another calendar flip over. Nigga, bring a new calendar in, bro. I'm still here. I'm still here. You know, in the 80s and 90s, the year 2023 just seemed like so far in the fucking future, bro. Like, oh my God. And now that shit just seemed like there ain't enough time left because I'm trying to see the year 2175. I'm trying to see what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, we ain't had motherfucking VR and cell phones and FaceTime and text messages and iPads and goddamn Twitter. Ain't had none of that shit. Now we got it. So I can't imagine like in just one more lifetime. You know what I'm saying? 65 years from now, what the fuck these motherfuckers gonna have? I'm just happy to make it around the sun one more time. Still kicking it, you know? Another year with the same homies dropping into the studio. You know how we do. Another year to make some beautiful art. That's all I'm about. Somebody said that you was looking for me. Bitch, here I go. Mm. The devil's in the details. I swear to God, they ain't never lie about that shit. It's all in the details.
He took the Bible and started to read carefully Ezekiel, phrase by phrase. Slowly he started to understand that this was not imagination, that was technology. He did not put one word. The whole text of Ezekiel to recalculate and redesign the splendorness of the highest. Like this. This is, of course, not a model spaceship.
And at the end of the last ice age, will make everything we've experienced in recent decades seem inconsequential. And all the evidence astrophysically, I'm convinced, is leading up to another really devastating solar event. And we had really, I don't care if you are worried about ancient civilization, maybe you care about modern civilization, and we better learn from what happened.
In a Swedish school textbook of today, one can read the following about the pyramids on the Giza Plateau in Egypt. Pyramids were tombs for the Egyptian pharaohs. The first pyramids were built the years 2780 BCE and 2280 BCE. It took 20 years for 100,000 men to build the Great Pyramid. It's still not really known how the pyramids were built. The most common theory is that the heavy stone blocks were dragged up onto the pyramid using long ramps made of stone, earth, and logs. The Great Sphinx, it says, originates from the 4th dynasty. It is an image of Pharaoh Khafre. The Sphinx was supposed to guard Khafre's mummy in the large pyramid behind it. The mummy of Khafre hasn't been found. To mind the shift, my name is Anders Wåhlin. Going to be yet another fascinating conversation on the podcast, I'm sure. Today, Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist and a geophysicist with tenure at Boston University. He's known worldwide for his extensive research on ancient civilizations. He has written numerous books on the subject, not least this one, Civilization. This is now available in a revised and expanded.
Y'all boys gonna hit the link? Oh, I don't even got the link in there.
Sphinx plays a very prominent role in his career, which I'm sure we'll hear more about.
Napalm, goddamn, super sketchy.
Robert Schoch, welcome.
With
I appreciate that.
all technology.
But how was that short, brief resume? Was it okay?
That was a very good brief resume. I very much appreciate that. And it was interesting, the book that you just read from a textbook, right? That was a school textbook.
Yes.
How should we say it? I would not agree with everything they say. In fact, I would agree with a lot of what they say. So maybe we want to get into that. To put it bluntly, the Sphinx did not originate with Khafre in the 4th dynasty, and really the beginning of my
I don't know why
career looking at
that link looks
civilizations.
different from the one I just copied. Let me see something.
Longer, going back to childhood, but my real serious research beginning in 1990 ended up confirming that the origins of the Sphinx go back much earlier than the 4th Kingdom, much earlier.
Yeah,
than
there's
the
definitely two different links.
So
I don't know why the first one
the Sphinx is not original.
is different like that.
Yeah, let's
But the second one is
just give a little bit
is the right link.
I mean, I'm sure that many people who are listening to this are aware or familiar with some of the theories about civilization being older than they're led to believe in textbooks. But I mean, there are always new listeners and new audience. I've just sum up what's being told here. I mean, according to the mainstream narrative, civilization began some 6,000 years ago or so, but a growing number of researchers and scientists claim that civilization is much older, and the proponents of this theory have somewhat different angles. The golden thread is that there is evidence of different kinds of advanced civilizations already when we were supposed to have been hunters and gatherers. And another common feature is that there was a cataclysm some 12,000 years ago that all but wiped out what humans had achieved until then. Your career, Robert, it kind of jump-started some 30 years ago, as you say, when your revolutionary redating of the Great Sphinx. So tell us, what was it you discovered, how that all started, and how was the reaction to that?
Yeah. So actually, just if I could elaborate a little bit on what you were just saying about civilization, and I am a classic academic in many respects. I'm just saying this to give my background. I went to George Washington University. I went to Yale University. to get my PhD in geology and geophysics. I'm well versed in the standard archaeological paradigms and standard historical paradigms. That's what I was sort of brought up and raised with as an undergraduate and graduate student. And when I first went to Egypt in 1990, it was not to prove that civilization goes back further. In fact, I fully believed I would go there as a geologist. It would be my only trip to Egypt. John Anthony West had invited me to go to Egypt because he had the notion from a guy named Schwaller de Lubitsch, R.A. Schwaller de Lubitsch, that the Sphinx was weathered by water and sand. I'm sorry, water and rain, not by wind and sand. Let me get that right. That had been weathered by water and rain and flooding, that type of thing. And this was impossible given that we know there were ultra arid Sahara conditions on the Giza Plateau for the last 5,000 or so years. And this ties in with the origins of civilization, according to the standard story, which is that civilization began between 4,000, 3,000 BCE. That is basically in the fourth millennium, pretty much late fourth millennium, so 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. My work, which I can elaborate on in some detail if we want to, on the Sphinx initially
He said
in the early 1990s, demonstrated, in my opinion,
sketchy.
beyond a doubt, those who really look at the physical evidence and don't just say, well, the Egyptologists disagree with you and the Egyptologists must be right because they're Egyptologists and you're just a geologist. And I basically had that argument leveled against me many times. But I think you have to go with the physical evidence. You have to go with the ground evidence. And that indicates that the Sphinx is thousands of years earlier. How much in terms of how many thousands of years earlier? I'll cut to the chase. I now place it back at the end of the last ice age. The ice age having ended catastrophically in my work. I long searched for the evidence and the causal effect, the cause, should we say, of the end of the last ice age. I have concluded that was a major solar outburst, and that's something we could talk about too. It was not a comet. The comet, actually, those who paint a comet, it's not even the end of the last ice age. It's what's known as the beginning of the Younger Dryas, which is about 1,200 years earlier. Mm-hmm. So bottom line, and I'm covering some of this so that we can then talk about it in detail, but this gives sort of a frame of reference. Bottom line, I have no doubt that civilization re-emerged, did not emerge, did not originate, but re-emerged about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago, that there was true civilization before the end of the last ice age, so before 9,700 BCE, or in rough terms, 10,000 BCE, 12,000 years ago, what I call an earlier cycle of civilization. This was devastated by the cataclysmic earth changes caused by a solar eruption at the end of the last ice age, which had huge climatic impact and other impacts, including destroying our, essentially the ozone layer, magnetosphere, high levels of radiation on the surface of the earth. People had to go underground, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there were a lot of ramifications, and people don't seem to realize that. It's not just a dramatic change in climate, which is severe enough. And so people were thrown into essentially a dark age. That early cycle civilization was devastated, and the term I use for it, which actually my wife Katie originated, to give her credit, is the solar-induced dark age, which lasts 1,000 years before civilization reemerges. So that's just to give a sort of a general text and time frame.
Yeah, but it's huge what you're saying, of course. I mean, for people who have never heard about this and who think that civilization started 6,000 years ago, and before that it was on the Stone Age. So,
yeah, and let me just throw out two other things. It's not just my work on the Sphinx that I've been talking about this since the early 1990s first really talked about publicly when I presented evidence for the Sphinx being older at the Geological Society of America in 1991. And I
Yo, y'all remember that
be
shit?
very straightforward to say that geologists are pretty skeptical about things. They're not afraid to
Oh,
tell you
I'm
when
so
you're
happy that shit is
wrong.
over, bro.
And I got so much support from fellow geologists.
So
Yeah,
happy that shit is
you were
done
always talking
with.
about
But
geological.
from the archaeologists, this was a different story, wasn't it?
Yeah, archaeology, very different
The
story.
worst time of the
And
year,
part of it
I
is
think.
psychological, I would say, if I could use that term, because geologists. are
Shopping
looking
is
at the
terrible. The
evidence.
grocery stores
I would
don't
say
never
very
keep anything in
objectively.
stock. The traffic is always bad. Gas prices go up because the oil companies know that a lot of people like to travel around the holidays, so they boost up gas prices. Man, it's just like so much dumb shit. And then all the fucking fake ass goddamn niceties and shit, motherfucker. If y'all really like this, why isn't people happy like this all fucking year? Why ain't y'all like Happy New Year's or Happy Holidays in motherfucking March, nigga? It's like Christmas come around, everybody just so nice and festive and community oriented, and the rest of the year y'all niggas don't give a fuck about nobody. Happy holidays. No, bitch. How about we have a happy 2023, bitch, the whole year. Don't wait to goddamn Christmas. And buy me a gift on Tuesday. Don't wait to goddamn Christmas to get me something nice, nigga. I don't like the holidays. They seem silly to me. Trying to get motherfuckers to buy Christmas cards and all this other goddamn dumb shit. For what? Then you get Easter come around, now you gotta buy Easter baskets. Oh well, no, what's next? Valentine's Day. Now you gotta buy motherfucking chocolate and a Valentine's Day card and all kind of flowers and dumb shit. Then Easter come around. Now you gotta buy a motherfucking a Sunday outfit or some dumbass shit. Like, man, no. Get chocolate bunnies and shit. I just realized something too. Look, the candy companies figure out how to get a piece of all the holidays. Cause motherfucking you get motherfucking chocolate for Valentine's Day, you get chocolate for goddamn Easter, you get chocolate for Halloween. What kind of candies y'all get for Thanksgiving? You get all the candy canes and all that shit for Christmas and little cookies and shit. The snack companies done figured out how to capitalize on the holidays too. That's all it is. That shit is just a motherfucking a corporate marketing ploy to make sure that throughout certain quarters of the year, these motherfuckers will meet their goddamn profit margins. That's why as soon as fucking Juneteenth became a holiday, everybody jumped on that shit. We got Juneteenth shirts, we got Juneteenth sherbet and ice cream, we got Juneteenth flags. It's all about monetizing that shit, man. That shit ain't about nothing what these shit is supposed to be. And that's why I hate that shit. I don't celebrate no holidays. I celebrate your birthday. And that's really some dumb shit too, because you only born one time. You only born once. You only got one birthday, the day you were born. Everything else is a motherfucking the anniversary of your birthday. Oh, you're exactly 1 year older than you were the last time. Let me give you a gift. I say, man, give me, give me. Uh-oh. Give me a gift on Wednesday. Don't wait until my damn birthday to give me some shit. Motherfuckers be tripping me out. Breaking their necks, going into debt for Christmas. Oh, my son say he went this. I buy my son shit every time I see that nigga. Get him a pair of shoes, give him $100 here and there. I ain't gotta wait till Christmas to get somebody some shit. All of it, man. All of it. That shit ain't nothing but once again a way for companies to capitalize on people's emotions and shit. Well, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as a time for families to come together and just spend time with your loved one. Bitch, you can do that anytime. Y'all remember this thing called Sunday dinners? We used to do that shit once a week. We did that shit once a week. Bring your ass to the house on Sunday. We'll see you then. I remember, what about family reunions? They always other times to get together. But motherfuckers love them damn holidays. But people don't understand symbolism. Motherfucking paint. When I took that lid off just now, I got paint in my mouth. Anyway, I was saying symbolism. Motherfuckers don't understand symbolism. And they don't know why they do the shit they do. That's the thing. Y'all just do it because of tradition, but you don't know why. Y'all don't even know where the tradition comes from. You just do that shit. Why do you chop down a tree, a living tree? Okay, so this tree is alive and it's in healthy, pristine condition. I'm gonna chop this tree down. Essentially, I'm about to kill this tree, right? And chop this tree down, and I'm gonna drag it in my house. I'm just bring the tree inside it, and I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna prop this tree up inside my house, and I'm gonna decorate that shit. I'm gonna put ornaments on it. What does any of that mean? What is the symbolic meaning of that shit? People just don't do shit for no reason. People just forget the reason why they do shit. Because I need firewood. But that's the thing. You're not going to use see? It would be smart if you use it for firewood. Right? That seems like the obvious reason you would chop a tree down and drag it in your house. To keep yourself warm or to utilize the material of the tree itself, to actually use it. But that's not what you do with a Christmas tree. Motherfucker just set it up so they can look at it. But you can look at the tree outside. That shit is all like Nordic, Slavic, pagan rituals and shit. And a lot of the rituals pertain to fertility. That's what a lot of the origins of Christmas is about, is fertility rituals. Easter, the same thing. The two big religions that most Christians associate themselves with. They're fertility rituals. But you incorporate different stories and legends and myths, and you change the characters, and you add different attributes, and now it's just, it's about Jesus, but it's about Santa Claus also. So they kind of acknowledge that it's accepted religion and motherfucking pagan religions all wrapped up into one, because they acknowledge like both aspects of it. And the same thing with Easter. It's supposed to be all about Jesus and all it is. But then a lot of churches still host Easter egg hunts about the rabbit and all of that. So they still somewhat acknowledge this pagan aspect. And now you know what? I might
For many around the world, it's difficult to imagine Christmas without the iconic Christmas tree, trimmed with beautiful decorations and colored lights. Children feel the excitement welling up inside them at the sight of it, and parents recall memories of their own childhood days beneath its boughs. The custom has proved so endearing that it's been taken up all around the world, with large Christmas trees not an infrequent sight in public spaces around the holiday period, in large cities in Japan and even China. Yet despite its now worldwide fame, its roots are planted firmly in more local soil. Let's discover the origin of this special tree that has so captured the hearts of people around the world. Hi friends, I'm Kevin McLean. My voice is a little rougher than usual because of a cold. But don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, and consider supporting the channel through Patreon or PayPal. It's very much appreciated. It's hard to say exactly when the evergreen tree, either pine or fir, was first used in celebrations around the period of the winter solstice. Some trace it back to the Roman Saturnalia, saying that evergreen branches decorated Roman homes during the holiday. Websites and popular magazines repeat this, though sometimes changing the ethnic group, saying that Druids in Britain and Northern Europe used to decorate homes and temples with pine, spruce, and fir, and of course mistletoe. There are some later customs of various European peoples that may give credence to such a view, but I have never found in ancient or medieval sources directly attesting to this practice, nor have I seen anyone give a citation for this claim. So while we should not discount the possibility that this did happen, the claim is very likely based on assumptions rather than fact. The earliest claimed association between the fir tree and the Christian religion is said to have come from an account of Saint Boniface, an English monk who led a mission into the Germanic pagan regions of the Frankish Empire in the early 700s. He became famous, or more correctly, infamous, for the great crime of destroying the sacred oak of Donar, the old High German rendering of Thunras, cognate with Norse Thor. It's been repeated on some websites and in books that after Boniface felled the tree, he pointed to a young fir growing amidst the roots and said, "This tree is the symbol of the true God because its leaves never fall," and he related its triangular shape to the Trinity. This does not appear in the medieval account of the saint, however, or in any other known medieval source. The origin of this claim lies with Mary Lewis Harvey, who wrote in 1912 a piece called How St. Boniface Kept Christmas. It's a fictional account of the saint's doings, where she has him confronting Druids, despite being among the Germanic people. She directly copies the account of the Druid ritual from Pliny the Elder, while adding an incantation they supposedly gave to Thor. He cuts down the tree, praises the fir as a symbol of the new religion of the Christ child, and converts all the Druids, lighting the first candles on the Christmas tree. In short, it's Christian fan fiction. Well before 1913, the Christmas tree had already become a normal part of the Christmas celebrations in English and German-speaking regions. And the author just simply backdates this and presents it as if it had been some eternal part of the Christmas celebration. It's amazing how one fictional version of St. Boniface led to such a widely repeated notion.
Determination makes dreams happen.
We make paths and we're there before.
It doesn't matter how far.
What is true is that these types of evergreen trees, fir or pine, held a special meaning in ancient Roman and Greek religion. One can find it associated with Mercury in his role as the guide of the dead, with the Thracian god Sabazios, who holds the pine cone, and the Egyptian Osiris, who had a ritual where the pine log was hollowed out and his effigy was placed within. All of these associations are linked to the cycle of life and death, and hint perhaps at rebirth. Mercury guides souls into the underworld, but also out of it. A myth of Dionysus said he was torn to pieces by the Titans, but later reborn. He is strongly connected to the life cycle of plants, especially vigorous growing grapes that must be continually pruned in order to produce fruit. Sabazios and Osiris are likewise linked to the cycle of life, and their power is connected to the annual growth and hibernation of plants. Yet the pine or fir and its cone are symbols of the ever-present life, for it does not lose its leaves, and when fires come and burn down the trees, the seeds of the pine cones spread and grow. These trees, symbolized by their cones, came to represent an idea of cyclical immortality. The pine or fir was also connected to the goddess Cybele and Attis, Phrygian god of vegetation. The Roman poet Ovid said, "Pines high girdled in a leafy crest, the favorite of the gods, great mother, since in this tree Attis of Cybele doffed his human shape and stiffened in its trunk. Poseidon's holy tree was also a pine. Its resin was used for waterproofing, and its wood for shipbuilding. While trees were venerated by pagans across Europe, and practices involving the burning of a Yule log are very widespread among different ethnic groups in Europe, the specific practice of the Christmas tree appears to be much more localized. It is said the earliest reference to a Christmas tree is found in the regiment, the Cistercian Order of 15th century Portugal. It says, "Note on how to put the Christmas branch. On the Christmas Eve you will look for a large branch of green laurel, and you shall reap many red oranges, and place them on the branches that come of the laurel, specifically as you have seen. And in every orange you shall put a candle, and hang the branch by a rope in the pole, which shall be by the candle of the high altar." While there are similarities here to the Christmas tradition, note that it is a branch of the laurel tree suspended from a rope. If plants were used in the Saturnalia, it may have also been the laurel. Yet one must admit that this laurel cutting practice is a far cry from what we know as a Christmas tree. The earliest dated image of a Christmas tree is claimed to be found on a private cornerstone of a home in Turkheim, now part of France.
Might
dated
drop
to
it down one more notch.
1576. You would think it would be the kind of thing that Turkheim would be pointing out as a tourist attraction or something, but there doesn't seem to be much about it anywhere on the net, and not a single picture could I find. But it's likely true. This was originally a German town, and the people most strongly connected with spreading the Christmas tree tradition, the Germans. But even though Turkheim holds the oldest representation of a Christmas tree, the earliest recorded mention of a real Christmas tree comes from an account of the practices of the Brotherhood of the Blackheads. Their origin is rooted in a group of foreign merchants in Tallinn, Estonia, who protected the church and Christians when the local pagan population rebelled and tried to drive out the Christian German occupiers between 1343 and 1345. Those foreigners in Estonia were mostly Germans and Danes, who had come as part of the Livonian Crusade, led by the Holy Roman Empire and the Kingdom of Denmark. And Estonia had remained largely under Danish occupation ever since. The rebellion was going well until the Teutonic Order arrived and crushed it with brutality. The Brotherhood was a military brotherhood that organized for the defense of the German occupation, and they were said to have set up a Christmas tree in their guild hall as early as 1441, and they would bring it to the town hall square at Christmas and dance around it. The Black Egyptian Saint Maurice was their patron saint, possibly why they were called the Blackheads, though they may have chosen the saint based on the name. Either way, it's a bit odd. What is also odd is that we would find the earliest Christmas tree account associated with this Christian military brotherhood. Now, if the Christmas tree, as we know it, began with the early pagan practices of the Estonians and Latvians, as many proud Estonians and Latvians claim, we would expect the last people to adopt it to be the Blackheads, who murdered local pagans in the name of Christ. As the Blackheads were made up primarily of people of German backgrounds who were occupying Estonian lands, it's possible that they brought the custom there rather than adopting a local pagan one. But possibly it was a custom common to both regions. The guild was not only active in Tallinn, but also throughout Germany. In Bremen in 1570, it's recorded in guild records that a tree was set up in the guild hall and decorated with treats that would be enjoyed by the children of the guild members on Christmas Day.
When you stay at a Vrbo, the host doesn't stay with you. Because without privacy in your vacation home, it isn't really a vacation, is it?
free with TurboTax Live. Get live help from tax experts, plus a final review free. Simple tax returns only. See if you qualify. Get the TurboTax app now.
By 1777, German immigrants to the United States were recorded as placing Christmas trees in Connecticut. And in 1781, General Frederick Adolphe Redisson set up a fir tree in Sorel, Quebec, decorated with candles and fruit. Queen Charlotte is said to have set up the first known Christmas tree in England in 1800. Queen Victoria wrote of the custom in 1832, saying, "After dinner, then we went into the drawing room near the dining room. There were 2 large round tables on which were placed 2 trees hung with lights and sugar ornaments, all the presents being placed round the trees." What all of these accounts of first known Christmas trees have in common is that from our earliest in 1441 to its earliest representation in Turkheim to its adoption into Britain and the New World, is that all of these representations come from German sources. It strongly suggests that the tradition is native to German people, and it likely existed long before it's first recorded. That militant Christian orders were participating in it as early as the 15th century means it didn't possess a pagan connotation for them at the time, because they'd grown up around it, so that it was just part of the culture and had probably become attached to some type of Christian explanation. Though very likely the custom of the Christmas tree does go back to a pagan practice around.
And that's the whole thing. Like it that shit predates Christianity. These motherfuckers just picked that shit up and then incorporated it into their own belief system. But they did it so long ago, people don't even know. Like that shit ain't really like what they think it is. That shit goes back, like you say, fucking Nordic dramatic people's customs, and those motherfuckers believed in like Odin and all those dudes. Like the people who started that shit, they didn't believe. They weren't Christians. But let's say somehow like, and then like he said too though, like even people all across the world. But then I don't know, there's a lot of Christians everywhere too. But I don't know, Christians think it's like a Christian thing, and it's like it's not. That shit, Christmas and putting up Christmas trees, that ain't had nothing to do with Jesus until Christians made it about Jesus. All right, we've been here for an hour and a half. Probably try to do 2 hours. I don't know. It's Friday though. I can do more than 2 hours. It ain't like I gotta get up for work in the morning. So and plus, I really, really, really want to get this commission done so I can get paid from this shit, yo. I had a unexpected bill pop up, like, and I get it, but then I don't get it, and then on top of that, like it's still my fault, and there was no way around me not paying this bill, and it was $520. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, come on, man. And is that a lot of money? No, but it ain't a little bit of money neither. Especially like unexpectedly. But student shoots teacher at elementary school in Newport News, Virginia.
I will let you know. Let me know what you're hearing.
All right, we're gonna listen to that. But I don't know, man. I got some property in South Carolina, and pay my taxes on it every year. And so for 2022, for last year, my taxes were due, at the beginning of this year. So like for last year, there's like, just make sure you pay your taxes by January. So all right, so like in December, I just went ahead and paid my property taxes for last year, for 2022. And they sent the Treasury Department sent my payment back to me saying, hey, Mr. Prince, you need to pay your taxes from 2021 before you pay your 22 taxes. I pay my taxes. I paid my taxes last year. I'm paying my taxes this year. I paid my taxes all the previous years since I've owned the property. Like I paid my taxes. It's like, no, we never got a payment. Then how did you get this one and send it back to me? How did you get the one the previous year? I've owned the property since 17. I pay my taxes every year. And now suddenly 1 year, I don't pay my taxes. I just magically skip a year. And then I try to pay the taxes the next year. He's like, oh, well, we don't have any records and this and that. If you can find a receipt. I'm like, you motherfuckers. I ain't got no receipt for that shit. And they said it was some kind of discrepancy with my address. I'm like, then how did you just send this to me? How do you not know where I live and you sent me mail to my address? Oh, well, we have your old address in our system. What motherfuckers? Every year I pay y'all motherfuckers. The money order has my address on it, and the envelope has my address on it. Why can't y'all see that shit? Y'all, you could have just updated that shit in the system yourself, or giving me a courtesy call and say, hey, Mr. Prince, we noticed that the address on your payment is different from the address we have in our system. Would you care to update that? Something, anything. And so I had to make a payment on that shit, man. Like, but ain't nowhere around it. It's just like they can't find that shit. So, all right, let me go ahead and pay this shit. And have that shit on record that it's paid. And then I'm going to send you back the payment that you sent back to me. And so now my taxes from 21 and 22 are paid. And I'm going to pay my taxes for this year like I do every year. And I had to have a whole fucking runaround with motherfucking county officials and all this trying to get this shit resolved. And these niggas would not budge, yo. That shit pissed me off so bad. I hate like unexpected shit like that. Like shit that just pops up out the blue. Man, this fucking congestion is killing me.
Okay, so you heard the police say a teacher was shot. The teacher is critically injured. One of our viewers said an interesting thing. One of our viewers in the chat said, like, maybe the student found a gun on like a playground or outside the school and then like shot it. So again, to update you on the story, a teacher was shot at Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia, around 2 p.m. today. The teacher was critically injured. It's a female teacher. Wavy News in Virginia is reporting that it was a first grade student who shot the teacher. We do not, the school system says that the perpetrator is in police custody, but we don't know how this happened. We don't know if it was an accident. We don't know where the gun came from. There's all this stuff we don't know. So just trying to get you the latest information here. At Lookner on Twitter is where you can reach me. This could have been an accident. We just don't know. Let me know what you're hearing at Lookner on Twitter. Hang on 1 second here. Well, let me do something real quick, guys. Hang on 1 second.
No, that's crazy.
WTKR also says a student is in custody. Breaking news, WTKR is now also reporting that a student is in custody. Student in custody after shooting teacher at Rich Neck Elementary School city councilman. Council member Curtis D. Bethany confirmed to us a student has been identified as the shooting suspect. So that's a second outlet reporting it was a student. And Wavy is reporting it was a first grader. Real quick, a quick thanks to Max Power, Don Teller, Lark Sporadic, thank you, and MSU Kiwi for your support. Also, really quick, I want to just thank our moderators who are in our chat rooms. I really appreciate our moderators. We have Lexa Fulmer is moderating over there on YouTube. Really appreciate it, Lexa. Thanks for moderating there. Emily is moderating as well. Thank you, Emily, for moderating. Also, thank you to Linda Belk moderating there on Twitter. Music Head, our Twitter viewer, says this is horrible. It is. Again, we don't know the particular circumstances of how this happened. Maybe it was an accident, we just don't know, but we are bringing you live coverage here. Thanks to our Twitch moderators, we have A Moment of Lovely, It's Quick, Lemon is a Mood, Papa Bear, and Surly Dev over there moderating. And thank you also to, hang on a second here. The teacher is critically injured, according to police.
Oh,
Margaret Riley is over there moderating there on Facebook. Thank you, Margaret.
It's just, no, you stupid for that one.
Hang on a second here.
This ain't nothing but 12 crayons in this box. Fuck, I'm supposed to do with 12 crayons.
Give me 1 moment, guys. Looking for some. Okay. Yeah, guys, we don't have confirmation from authorities, but Wavy News is reporting it was a first grader who is the one who did the shoot, fired the gun. Yeah, so see, WTKR is also saying student in custody.
Now that's the big question is, where the fuck this young motherfucker get the goddamn gun from? What, first grade? You like 6?
So waiting to get more information here.
7
We will
years
bring
old?
it to you as soon as we get it. Let me know what you're hearing at Lookner on Twitter. What is this here? If you do send me information here, let's see here. Hang on 1 second here. Somebody sent me a different report. Let me check this other report out.
Hmm.
Where is that? Somebody sent me something, but it wasn't actually, I don't see the thing they told me is not in the actual article.
Now, how many people are
Okay, so let me
traumatized
show
for
you what we're
life?
talking about here, guys. This is the Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia. So let me
Yep.
show you where we're talking about. Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia. This is Eastern Virginia. See, it says Rich Neck Elementary School. That's what we're talking about right here. There is Rich Neck Elementary School. Here is a street view from, that's what the school looks like from Google Maps. So just to go over what we know, a female teacher was shot around 2 p.m. And she is critically injured. We don't know her exact condition. She is in the hospital. According to multiple outlets, a student is in custody. According to Wavy News Virginia, the student is a first grader who shot the teacher. That is what we know right now. We don't know how this happened. Trying to get you more information, but again, multiple outlets say it's a student in custody, and Wavy News is reporting sources from NNPS tell Wavy it was a first grade student who shot the teacher. So we are trying to get information on where did this gun come from? Was this an accident? Was it intentional? Where did this happen? Inside the school, outside the school? We just don't know right now. And hopefully the teacher survives. Thoughts with the teacher who was shot. Just checking to get you more information. It is not an active scene. It is not an active scene. Sorry, I'm really just checking different reports here to try to get you some new updates. And, there has not been, the police spoke, I want to say like around an hour ago or something, and we played you what the police said. But the police did not, the police were asked if a student was involved, and they did say that was a possibility, but they needed to inform certain people. Let me see if I can play you that audio where the police were asked. I don't know if I have it still. Yeah, let me show you this audio. This is when the police, let me play you what the police had to say about this. Okay, I'm going to play you some audio right now of what the police had to say. But this was not in the last few minutes. So maybe we'll get a new announcement from police sometime soon. So here's what the police had to say a little earlier about this. Okay, hang on, let me just get this going here. Hold on, if I can get it to work.
So we're bringing them up by grade level. So we're having parents with ID, with the school officials to get students back with their level. And that's my number one priority. What we did have about 2 o'clock this afternoon, there was a gunshot inside the school here at Rich Neck Elementary. We have an adult female, a teacher who has been transported to a local hospital. where she's undergoing treatment. She's considered critical right now. As we continue, we have officers there giving us updates on how she's doing. That's important to me. But the number one thing right now is to get these kids back with their parents. Like I said, the school is completely secure at this point. It was cleared with our SWAT team and officers, but in a very deliberate and orderly fashion. I don't want to alert those children anymore. We have recovered evidence in the location where the shooting took place at, and that's sort of where we're at this point.
I know they initially came in as an active shooter, but you guys pretty much had somebody pretty quickly.
Yeah, we were here. We were here within minutes of the scene and the situation. We did not have an individual who was going around the school firing off rounds. We have an isolated location where the shooting occurred. There will be more to follow about that. We do have the individual in custody, but right now, again, just want to reiterate the safety of our teacher that is recovering, getting treated at the hospital, and getting these young kids. And I will tell you this. I'd be remiss if I didn't say I could not be more impressed with the way the officers responded, the sheriff's department. We have school board members here, Dr. Park, the school superintendent, the mayor was here. We just briefed him. But it'll be a little bit of a process, and there will be some more information that follows. But right now, I just want to get those kids back with their families. I understand their frustration and concern in seeing their loved ones. That's top priority right now.
There are things out there floating around already, as we well know, when these things happen, it happens pretty quickly. Is it safe to say a student may be involved in this?
I think we can say that that's a possibility. I don't want to confirm anything just yet. I want to make sure that we have made all the notifications we need to out of respect for family and loved ones. Okay?
So you heard what the police said. They certainly did not deny it was a student. Multiple local outlets are reporting it was a student. And as you see on your screen, Wavy TV is reporting that it is a first grade student, which matches with some rumors that have been floating around online, but that has not been confirmed. Give me a shout. Let me know what you're hearing. Trying to bring you the latest information here. At Lookner on Twitter. This happened at about 3 hours ago at 2 p.m., around 2 p.m. today. Yeah, and I mean, somebody in first grade would be roughly 7 years old, right?
Yeah,
sixth grade would be 12 years old, roughly. Let me know what you're hearing. And there's been no reporting on what exactly happened in this incident. What is this? I'm going to take some comments and questions from you guys as I try to find you some more information about this. Just checking different reports. Let me check a couple other outlets here and see what they have to say. Nothing here. Nothing there. Well, look at this, guys. Look at this from Virginian Pilot. They report at least one child who said she witnessed the shooting described the shooter as a classmate. Yeah. At least one child who said she witnessed the shooting described the shooter as a classmate. Breaking news, several parents interviewed outside the school said officers on scene told them a 7-year-old male student shot a teacher. A 6-year-old student whose mother didn't want her daughter's name used said she witnessed the shooting. The girl told a Daily Press reporter that one of her classmates shot their female teacher on purpose. The teacher fell to her knees. Wow. How? Well, I'm going to post that right now. Unbelievable. That's from the Virginian Pilot.
Mm.
Unbelievable. So this is from the Virginian Pilot. Several parents interviewed outside the school said officers on scene told them a 7-year-old male student shot the teacher. A 6-year-old student whose mother didn't want her daughter's name used said she witnessed the shooting. The girl told a Daily Press reporter that one of her classmates shot their female teacher on purpose. The teacher fell to her knees. Unbelievable. Newport News, Virginia. Let me actually, real quick.
Everybody coughing.
A teacher
Even this nigga got
was
the coughs.
shot and critically injured today.
I've been coughing for like 3 days now.
Rich Neck Elementary School. I'm just going to put this up in the scroll. In Newport News, Virginia. Multiple news outlets report the shooter was a student. Wavy reports the shooter was a first grader. Virginian Pilot has multiple eyewitness reports that the student was 7 years old. The shooter is in custody and it is no longer active situation. Okay, I wanted to do that. I'll actually put that up on the screen. Let me get that up on the screen so people can get that information. So that. Wow. I'm going to read this again from the Virginian Pilot because it's just so shocking to read. Several parents interviewed outside the school said officers on scene told them a 7-year-old male student shot a teacher. A 6-year-old student whose mother didn't want her daughter's name used said she witnessed the shooting. The girl told a Daily Press reporter that one of her classmates shot their female teacher on purpose. The teacher fell to her knees. The teacher's critically injured. Let's see what the Daily Press has to say. Injured in shooting at Newport News Elementary School. The teacher was injured. Police believe they have the person responsible in custody, but declined to provide any details about that person. At least one child who said she witnessed the shooting described the shooter as a classmate. Yeah, this is like the same article. I think it's some of the same reporting as when Newport News, in the Virginian pilot. Several parents interviewed outside the school said officers on scene told them the 7-year-old male student shot the teacher. I think this article might be the same as the Virginian pilot article. Wow. Well, we'll see if the authorities confirm that it was a first grader / 7-year-old student who shot the teacher. If it turns out that the student shot the teacher intentionally, it's just like off the scale crazy. I mean, it's really bad, obviously, that this happened, and certainly hope the teacher recovers. But, I was thinking, well, maybe it was an accident, right? Maybe somebody found a gun somewhere and accidentally shot it. If it turns out that this was intentional, it's just so crazy. So, but we don't know for sure what exactly happened here. Give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. We are bringing you live coverage of this. Let me say a quick thanks to our YouTube members like Ronald Kane, Don Coven, Agnes T, Rita, and Rick Hoppy, and our other YouTube members. Really appreciate it. All of our Twitch subscribers like Makawaka and others, and our Facebook subscribers there. Thank you. And also thanks to Darlene Carrick for the Facebook stars, and thanks Kay, who's Kay Larabati is also moderating along with Margaret Riley over there on Facebook. Thank you. All right, let me know what you're hearing. We'll bring you the latest updates. We don't have an official confirmation that the shooter was a first grader, but we're seeing a number of reports suggesting that the shooter was a first grader / 7-year-old student. So we'll see if we get some official updates about this. Let's see here. Oh, what I might do actually, it's actually interesting. Yeah, let me go back and see. I might be able to get the archived scanner so we can hear what the scanner was saying when this happened. Okay, so I have this. I should be able to go back to when this happened, and we can play the scanner. Some viewers are saying that they've heard that the scanner says certain things about the shooting. So what I can do is go to the archives and play it and see what I can find here.
Yeah, well, we already both took COVID tests. They negative. It's either just a regular cold or the flu or...
Okay, let's see if I can play this.
And I took
we'll see what's on it.
I just took one of the little home tests, but my girl, she went to Rite Aid or CVS. She went to the lab to get hers done, and it came back negative.
Got it. Okay.
And so that's why both of us are then, it must be something else. I told my job that shit too, because
That's what I'm doing.
I work in the office. And
I have the scanner from when this
I just let
happened.
everybody know that I did take a COVID test, and it wasn't that. If I'm still coughing next week, I might try to work from home.
Okay, I got it, guys. I got the scanner archives. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to listen to these scanner archives here. Hold on a second. I do want to put on the screen that this is a replay of the scanner, not live. Let me do that because people will get really confused. Do that. Oops. That's not going to work. Should work. Hold on. Oops. Let's hear what the scanner had to say when this happened. And I'll keep checking for updates too. This is a replay of the scanner from
So
earlier.
right lane apartment 1-8, Northeast Old Ocean Point Road, we have an 8-year-old male visiting Verona.
This Northwest Trevor to the shooting at Ridgeneck Elementary.
Jump around here and see what's on the replay of the scanner.
Drop the test. Responding to the shooting are one female patient out of consciousness. He was shot in the chest.
It's shot in the chest,
Copy that.
out of consciousness.
Advising they have custodians at the front door with the keys. Shooter in room 11.
Is the scene secured?
They have not advised yet. They have not advised. I do not have information if this scene is secured.
Communications to any unit on scene, the shooter is going to be in room 11.
Or we have the day.
Or what? Thank you, shooter guys, go ahead.
Very good.
Shooter guys, go ahead.
We got the shooter.
Just marking one detained at 14 minutes.
Pete, this was around 2 p.m. today, about 3 hours ago. We're replaying the scanner traffic to see what we can figure out from the scanner traffic. In the scanner traffic, it says that a female was shot in the chest and in and out of consciousness. What we know happened today is that a teacher was shot. A female teacher was critically injured at the Ridgeneck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia. The scanner said she was shot in the chest, the part we just heard. You can see on the screen, there's reporting that says the student was around 7 years old who shot the teacher. Wavy reports it was a first grader. You can see from the Virginian Pilot, they say several parents interviewed on the scene told them a 7-year-old male student shot a teacher. And Virginian Pilot also says a 6-year-old student whose mother didn't want her daughter's name used said she witnessed the shooting. The girl told a Daily Press reporter that one of her classmates shot their female teacher, quote, on purpose. The teacher fell to her knees. So I'm going to keep checking for updates here. Let me just check for more updates real quick, and then we'll go back to that scanner replay and see what we can hear on the scanner. So bear with me a second. I just want to make sure I'm not missing updates. Ann Sparaco says, she just posted this. Newport News police are starting to clear the scene and allow some school buses to pull through to the scene. Hang on a moment here. Let me know what you're hearing. I'm at Lookner on Twitter. Let me know if you're hearing anything new. Let's go back, guys. Let's go back to the scanner. Let's go back to the scanner replay. Okay. So I'm playing you some of the scanner traffic from when this happened. Let's go back and listen to some more of the scanner traffic from when this happened.
I'm going to need a district supervisor to maintain radio contact with all fire department units. All fire department units responding to Rich Neck shooting, switch to TAC 2. TAC 2.
So that sounds like they switched the scanner traffic to a tactical channel. So you're probably going to get less on the scanner then because they switched the scanner traffic to an encrypted channel, in which case we wouldn't hear it.
Archimedic 4, home scene going to TAC 2.
At that point, they switched the scanner to a tactical channel. I'm going to see, we didn't catch right at the beginning.
For the victim, somebody does a copy and ring the left.
Unseen, 10-4 for next approach. That's far, one day.
Victim. There's only one victim in this shooting, the teacher. That's it. One person shot the teacher. That's been confirmed.
Okay.
Victim route back to shooting.
2-4-6.
Be advised, we have one party in the bathroom, we still have her on the phone. 6 juveniles at this time, we're keeping her on the phone.
Scene is being safe. Units can approach.
Probably been those things. You still need to respond in the emergency mode.
Negative. Units went into dispatch. Units going to slow response, no more response. Not emergency.
Responding, slow response.
Unit 26 on scene.
Be advised, slow your response, repeat, slow your response to Rich Neck.
I think they're saying slow your response because at that point they have the shooter in custody, and it's not seen as like an active scene anymore. Go back and try to. I can try to get the first part of this.
Visual in reference to an assault.
Let me go back in just a few minutes and see if I can find the exact moment when they first reported it on the scanner.
Description on the shooter.
Here it is.
205 Carmen Drive.
We have the victim in the office. It's going to be an active shooter. There's lockdown on where the shooter is at this time.
Active shooter. Inspector, Rich Neck Elementary, 205 Carmen Drive. One of the teachers shot.
And has been shot. The victim in the office, we're trying to get further. Any captains or chiefs on the radio?
Now.
Yeah, the female victim shot in the abdomen.
And is there a reason why? Leave my residence now. Tell me about the residence.
They said she was shot in the abdomen. A little later in the scanner, they say she was shot in the chest. We know she's been critically injured on the scanner. They said she was slipping in and out of consciousness. Again, this is a female teacher at Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia, who was shot about 3.5 hours ago when this happened. And multiple outlets are reporting this is a student who did this. Wavy, the news outlet in Virginia, says it's a first grader. And as you can see on your screen, there's a bunch of reporting in the Virginia Pilot that suggests it's a 7-year-old or somebody around 7-year-old shooting the teacher. Very concerning, this report here. A 6-year-old student whose mother didn't want her real name, her daughter's name used, said she witnessed the shooting. The girl told a Daily Press reporter that one of her classmates shot their female teacher on purpose. The teacher fell to her knees. So I was thinking, maybe this was just an accident, if it was a terrible accident, but it still remains to be seen what exactly happened here. Was this intentional or not? What exactly happened? We're trying to get you the latest information here. Let me see if I can get you any updates. And let me know what you're hearing at Lookner on Twitter. I appreciate your news tips that you're sending along too. Checking a bunch of different sources here. Oh, press conference. 9 minutes press conference. I'm going to try to get this for you guys. Press conference in 9 minutes. So give me 1 second. Let me just get set up here. And let me, I hope they put it, they video of it, but I'll at least should be able to get audio of it for you. Let me get the scanner thing off the screen. So I'm hoping to get you video, but if not, I should be able to get you audio of it. Just give me a moment here, guys. That's not going to help me.
Bro, this is some wild shit. I can't even imagine being a parent nowadays. Like every couple of months, you're hearing some shit like this. Look there, you need to get you some tea, bro. That's what I'm about to go do. As soon as I get out the studio, I'm gonna get me some fucking ginger tea. A hot cup of ginger tea and sit in front of the goddamn heater.
All right, hold on. I'm trying my best. I want to just get you some audio of this press conference, if not video. Press conference coming up in about 7 minutes. 7 minutes, guys. Okay, that's a one possible way to get it. Hang on. Okay. I will try a couple different things. So again, there's supposed to be a press conference coming up in about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. Well, someone's had a suggestion about it too. Okay, I think I got a way to get at least audio. Okay. Sorry, I'm checking a couple different things. I'm getting a few different places that I might be able to get you this, at least audio of it. What is this? Oh, okay. I think I got it here. Working? That might work. Let me see if this works. Okay, that I think might work. Okay. That's one way. Ooh, what's this? Okay, I have my eyes peeled. In the next 4 minutes, there's supposed to be a press conference, guys, in 4 minutes. Gonna try to get you live coverage of it. Hang on. Give me a shout at Lookner on Twitter. Press conference coming up in like 3 minutes, supposedly. I am just, give me one moment here, kind of looking around here. So there's one place, again, my plan is to hopefully have at least audio for you of the press conference. If the police department actually shows it, then I can show it to you. But I don't see it up on the police department page yet. It's 5:27. We are bringing you live coverage. A teacher has been shot and critically injured, a female teacher at a Newport News, Virginia elementary school today. Multiple outlets are reporting the person who did this was a student. Wavy news outlet in Virginia says it was a first grader. The Virginian Pilot has multiple reports saying that has talked to multiple people who said the shooter was 7 years old. You can see Virginian Pilot, several parents interviewed outside the school said officers on scene told them a 7-year-old male student shot a teacher. A 6-year-old student whose mother didn't want her daughter's name used said she witnessed the shooting. The girl told a Daily Press reporter that one of her classmates shot their female teacher on purpose. The teacher fell to her knees. So we are bringing you live coverage, and there's a press conference coming in like 2 minutes. Until this press conference starts. Let me keep looking here, guys. Waiting to get this for you, hopefully at least audio. have my eye on a couple different places. But I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, here it is, guys. I got it. Hold on. Sorry, I can replay it when it's over. It just started. Hang on here. Clearly, the audio is not good. Guys, we can't hear the audio here, so I'm going to have to get this somewhere else. It's going on. Let me see what I can do about the audio. Their audio is terrible. It's the source audio. Oh.
This young man. The forensics has already been inside. We processed. This occurred in a classroom. It was isolated. This was not a situation where we had a student going up or any other individuals going up and down the hall with actively firing in a long shooting incident. It was in a classroom, an altercation that took place there. That class has been processed. When we responded here, we tried to coordinate a police line for parents to gather. We had great resources, our partners, school board members, of course, Dr. Parker. We have a great working relationship. The mayor, the school staff here. What the officers did when they got here is they coordinated to move all the students and the faculty to the gymnasium, to bring everyone together and then to keep the kids interactive. You can imagine some of the fears and concern that they have as they're moving through the hallway. We did that systematically, but still in a safe and tactical situation to make sure we didn't have anything else. As they arrived, we did hallway by hallway, and I cannot tell you, I have to say, I cannot be more impressed with the faculty at this school. And I'm not just talking about teachers. I'm talking about every adult here played a role in helping us facilitate that movement. And it worked very, very well. I understand there was some frustration as we wanted to make sure we worked with our school system to make sure we got parents and students back together. And Dr. Parker may talk more about that, but you can understand the frustration of just wanting to make sure to put their arms around their young one, and I can understand that. So I want to thank the citizens of this city that picked up their children today and how well they worked with us. The sheriff's department did an amazing job. The faculty and staff here, I just can't talk more about the work that they did. As you can imagine, this is a hard situation. It's a hard situation for families. It's a hard situation for our most valuable residents here, as our young people. Right, that's our future. We got to shake hands and give some high fives, but I saw a lot of tears today. And I'm not just talking about in students' eyes. Right? I could not be more happy how the officers cleared this facility, walked and interacted with students. The faculty, again, I just cannot be more appreciative. I want to thank the mayor. He came in with us. He went out and walked the crowd and explained to citizens what we were doing in our process. And Mr. Mayor, I just want to tell you thank you for that. I appreciate that. And Dr. Parker was with us. You see behind me, members of the school board, they were here inside making sure the kids were okay. How can we help? And it wasn't standing around. I mean, school board members were walking kids to their parents to make sure they were okay. So I'll take a few questions, but then I want to make sure to step aside for the mayor and Dr. Parker if you have any questions for them. So I'm going to take any questions I can about what I talked about, and then I'm going to step aside.
You mentioned there was an altercation involving a 6-year-old. Can you expand on that?
The only thing I can tell you is that the altercation was between a 6-year-old, the student who did have the firearm, and the teacher, and then a round was fired. Like I said, she suffered a gunshot wound and has been transported to the hospital. That's where my thoughts and prayers are at right now. When I leave here, I'm going to get another update, but Chief Grinstead has been keeping us informed about how she's doing at the hospital.
And Chief, are you intentional or accidental?
This was not an accidental shooting.
And Chief, are you in touch with the child's parents right now? What are they saying at this time?
So right now, Chief Creswell and his staff, Captain Petrosky, Lieutenant Fish, are handling that investigation. I'll get a brief on that when I leave here. As we talked a little bit earlier, the number one priority for me was to get those students back with their families. We'll get the investigation done. There's some questions we'll want to ask and find out about. I want to know where that firearm came from. What was the situation? But right now, what I've shared with you is kind of where we're at in the investigation.
Can you talk about the gun a little bit? What type of gun?
No, I don't want to get into that until I allow the detectives to do their. I can tell you what the handgun is about. I can tell you that.
Was there anybody else involved other than that single student?
No, it was one student and the teacher in the classroom.
Is it classroom board for all classrooms?
So I'm going to let the school members talk about that. I'm going to step aside for the mayor and then Dr. Parker. What I can tell you is that when those officers went through and cleared those rooms, you can imagine we're dealing with elementary kids, and those kids did an amazing job today. They did an amazing job. And I cannot be more proud of them. I can tell you she's an adult female and she's in her 30s. I don't know a time frame that she's been here.
Chief, last question. Did the shooter and the teacher know each other? Were they relatives of any kind?
I don't believe they were relatives, but they knew each other. Classroom and teacher type structure. Okay? All right.
I'll sort of keep my comments brief. Newport News is it's a community. We are going to succeed or we're going to fail together. Today, I could not be prouder of our public servants who were here very, very quickly. The outer cordon, inner cordon were established. Can I be more proud of the police force, the sheriff, the entire fire department, my colleagues who stand behind us, the superintendent, the school board, Lisa, our delegates that are here. Newport News is a strong community, and we are always going to be together. It hurts my heart. After this, I'm going to go to the hospital and talk to the family and spend the night there. But it's a dark day for Newport News, and we're going to learn from this, and we're going to come back stronger. So I'll take some questions at this time, very briefly, and then I'll get over to the school board.
Mayor, you've been in office just a week or so.
Yes.
It's a like to have this so quickly in your administration.
Yep. So, legally since January 1st, we take off this January 10th. So this is a team effort. It's not just the mayor, it's the city council, it's school board. This is a surreal experience, but I was so proud to see how our officers handled it, how everyone was calm, was peaceful. They were able to keep the children, account for them. I'm very proud of that.
And how are you going to how are you going to take tonight and move forward in your term when it comes to addressing gun violence among such young children? This is the youngest we've seen in a very long time.
Yes. So right now it's still raw right now, but I will tell you
The first week, bro.
Full after action, not only from internally the city council, the school board, and others, but we're going to ensure that we have the right steps and policies so this doesn't happen again.
Mayor, do you believe in medical deception?
Yeah, I'm going to let the school board and talk about that.
I'm probably trying to get to a good stopping point.
Thank you.
And no lie, man, I'll probably go hop on the game for a little minute. I've been in here for almost 2.5 hours.
And
Yeah, man, I really feel like I'm getting to like the end of this thing.
and what guns can do to disrupt not only an educational environment, but also a family, a community. And I reiterate what the mayor said, that Newport News is a very proud community. We pride ourselves in working diligently to provide a safe learning environment for all students. The efforts we saw today by our faculty were admirable, and the response that it took to get our kids, make sure our kids were safe, make sure our parents were reunified with the students in as timely as we could make it. We don't plan for these incidents, but we do have plans to make sure our schools are safe. We need the community support, continued support, to make sure that guns are not available to use. And I'm sounding like a broken record today because I continue to reiterate that we need to keep the guns out of the hands of our young people. This is evidence today that these are the things that happen when we have access to weapons. I really feel for this community, the Richneck community at this time. I saw the fear on some of our parents' faces. I saw the fear on our students' faces. We will not be in school on Monday as we work on the mental health of our staff and our students. We'll continue to work on that. And we'll be putting more information out to parents in the days to come as far as how we will move forward as a school and as a community.
You can ramp up your usage of metal detectors.
We have already moved forward in many ways with random metal detection and standard metal detection in many of our schools. Whenever there's a threat, we have threat procedures in place.
Do you have a metal detector here?
We do have metal detection capability in all of our schools. The kids walk through a metal detection every day. We do not do that. We use random metal detection, and we usually do that when we don't let folks know when we're going to do it. But if we have a perceived threat or an issue, we administer random metal detection on those days. We can check individual classrooms, individual students, and students as they come off the bus. So we have procedures. Those are things we'll have to consider moving forward. Again, I cannot control access to weapons. My teachers cannot control access to weapons. What we have to do is we have to make sure that is also a clear message that comes out of a situation of this nature. We do respond to whatever we have come on campus, but again, it comes on campus because of access in the community, and this is not a Newport News problem. It's a bigger and broader problem than what we're seeing today.
Superintendent, what's your reaction to a 6-year-old pulling the trigger in one of the classrooms?
I'm in awe and I'm in shock, and I'm disheartened, and I really feel that we need to educate our children, and we need to keep them safe, and that's what our school division is about. That's the whole mission of our school division. So today was really a breakdown in what our values are as a community, what our values are as a city, and what our values are as a school division. And we need to make sure that we never see instances like this happen again.
What do you think is bringing other teachers who, may see this happen from a student, hitting another teacher and maybe in fear now that another student might do the same to them?
To our teachers, and I can only speak to my staff, we know that we do everything possible to keep our schools safe, and we'll continue to do that. And part of that is listening to our teachers and also communicating effectively with our parents to ensure that we can maintain safety. It takes more than just a school division and a police force to keep our kids and our community safe. It takes parents, it takes the community to work with us to do that. But to our teachers, I would say that we'll put every procedure that we can muster in place to make sure that we can, one, manage a quality instructional day, as well as ensure that safety on our campuses.
Did you know personally?
No, ma'am.
Sorry, no school on Monday for just the school or district-wide?
Just the school.
In the short term.
What's on?
Would y'all be considered indoors in all classrooms in this building?
Part of our security measures are to make sure that we can have a reasonable lockdown of our campus. And today was a good example that when we had a threat, the entire school went to lockdown, and that includes making sure our students are in a safe place while they're legitimate threat.
Give me 1 minute.
All of our students work on procedures. Every campus is different.
Okay, move. I'm coming. Give me a minute.
The safety procedures and measures on every campus. So we'll go back. We work very well with Chief Drew and our police officers. And when instances occur, we go back and review our safety measures to make sure to see what worked well, what did not work well, and we make the necessary adjustments. Going back to this gentleman's question about any type of metal detection or other procedures that might take place. That's part of the recap that we do with our police staff, and they work very well with us to review instances that occur on our campuses to make sure that we're preventive moving forward and we learn from situations that occur such as this.
Short term, what sort of counseling and support would you offer to students and staff coming next week?
We have a crisis response team. The Newport News has invested in clinically licensed social workers, psychologists who not only meet with staff, but they also meet with students and parents. If they need mental health assistance, we will be meeting with them throughout on an as-need basis over the weekend, following up in next week. And whenever we return to classes, they will be on site to assist any students. We saw traumatized students, not just from the classroom today that this incident occurred, but also from all over our building. We saw students coming out who really understand what took place today, and they'll need that mental health support. And one thing we pride ourselves is being able to provide that as a school division when instances like this occur.
Was there any disciplinary action that happened in that classroom in general prior to this?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Was there any significant disciplinary action that had happened in that classroom, speaking generally, prior to this incident this year?
We are looking at any instances that may have occurred, that may have caused this incident. We'll be investigating, completing our investigation as we move into next week. What transpired, what occurred. Right now, it's a police investigation, so I can't speak to anything leading up to it, the incident, or what occurred at this particular point. But that is part of our procedures, is to investigate from our standpoint, because we want to make sure nothing like this happens again. So if there's something we can do, we have to learn from it, and that will be part of our investigation.
how can we prepare for like kindergartners and first graders shooting it? How can we prepare ourselves for these type of actions?
I hope we look at our safety measures and don't prepare for first graders and kindergartners shooting each other. This is terrible. This is something that should never occur. And I think we're all in shock, and we all understand that we have a lot of work to do as a community to make sure things like this don't occur.
Do you know if the student involved is a boy or a girl, and what grade level is this classroom that they should be in?
It's the first grade classroom, and I don't want to speak to the student at this particular time because I want the police to be able to conduct their investigation and be able to put that any information out through their office. But unfortunately, it's a first grade classroom. Thank you very much.
All right, we've been listening to this.
Wow. Wow. That's just a wow. Guys, a 6-year-old student shot the teacher. A 6-year-old student. Hang on 1 second, guys. Give me 1 sec here. So a 6-year-old student shot the teacher intentionally in a first grade classroom. Teacher has life-threatening injuries, guys. I'd like to get the first part of that press conference. Get the first part, but we did hear police say there was an altercation between a 6-year-old student with a firearm and a teacher, and the 6-year-old student intentionally shot the teacher, who now has life-threatening injuries. Important news, Virginia. Let me just, what I would really like, if I can, is to be able to get you the beginning of that press conference, because we got it like a minute or two in, and get a little more detail on what was said in the press conference. Yeah, again, a 6-year-old male student is in custody. WTKR, guys, says it's a male student. Hang on a second here. Well, let me just update the headline. Sorry, the headline got a little messed up here. Bear with me for 1 second. See how it's small there? Okay, this happened. Here we go. You can see here, we just heard the most of a press conference from the police. And the police said this happened in a classroom, in a first grade classroom in Newport News, Virginia, at the Rich Neck Elementary School. And I can't believe I'm saying this. It doesn't even make any sense. A 6-year-old student had a firearm, and there was some sort of altercation between the student and the teacher. And the student shot the teacher, and the teacher has life-threatening injuries. And the shooting was intentional. This was not an accident. It was intentional. 6-year-old male student is in custody, and a female teacher is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries following a shooting in the classroom at Rich Neck Elementary School. Police Chief Steve Drew confirmed to us a 6-year-old student has been identified as a shooting suspect. 6 years old. The shooting was not accidental.
Damn.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Yeah, in terms of there being an altercation, I don't know if the altercation